Good morning, Amsterdam and Groningen. I've seen on Twitter. Yeah, I'm going to tell you about something. It's a bit like my former speaker, Janneke, told us about. It's about failure. Dare to fail. Well, I've seen many entrepreneurs who failed. Well, did they fail? I've advised 20,000 small, medium entrepreneurs on failure who were almost bankrupt. But to give you an example, how I how I view entrepreneurship is I want to introduce to you my hero. Because for a long time, I have one hero, and my hero is Tom. And if the techniques works, then you're going to see Tom. You all know Tom. You know Tom and you know Jerry. And Jerry is the very inventive mouse, and Tom finds all the ways to get him. But he never does. At least if you haven't seen the last episode. But that's beside it. Failure, bankruptcy. How many small, medium enterprises do we have in Holland? Really, really a lot. But how many independent professionals do we have? 800,000 ZZP'ers, we call them in the Netherlands. And what is something we always forget? That they are personally liable for their debts. How many entrepreneurs, who is an entrepreneur in this audience? Oh, good for you. A lot of entrepreneurs. How many are there here longer than 5 years an entrepreneur? Well, a little less, but you're doing well. You're doing well. And if I tell you that half of the entrepreneurs still exist after 5 years, then you say, okay. But how is it with independent professionals, the ZZP'er? How many are there after 4 years left? Only 30%. Only 30%. What happens to the other 70%? 60% of the 70%, they stop because of financial problems. And that's my business. So if I tell you that in 2005 we had 50,000 starters, yeah, oh, good for Holland. And if I tell you in 2009 and the years after, way over 100,000, well, if you count with me, then you know I'm in a growing market. I've seen that very good. That's not the reason why I was a Businesswoman of the Year, but it's very sad, actually. Because we have a bankruptcy law, and that's from 1897. Well, so modern is Holland. Not. 1897. But we do have some modernizations on law. We now have a special law. Well, it will be law that you can, if you have a company, a bigger company like another businesswoman who was in the lingerie, who is in the lingerie, Marlies Dekkers, and she had a flits bankruptcy, so she went bankrupt but started again the next day. And you also have that for private persons. They can be quitted for the debt after 3 years. And we call it in Holland the wet schuldsanering natuurlijk personen. But is there something in between? Is there something for the 800,000 independent professionals who are personally liable for their debt? No, we don't have that. Because we have a law from 1897. That's strange. And if I tell you, if an independent professional comes to me and has a debt, how high is the debt, you think, averagely? Can we have some numbers? How many debts, if you work alone, you don't have any staff, How many debts do you think the average independent professional has if he's almost bankrupt and personal liable? 20,000 K. Who bids more? 50. Who bids more? 100. More. 120,000 K. 120K. Oh, that would be way, way more. Well, it's a lot. It's terrible. 120,000 euro debt. And there's no guarantee, there's no house you can sell. No, it's debt. And how long? Yes? Oh no, it's different. It's, of course, on number one, it's the tax law, the tax office. That's number one. And you also have the bank, if the bank was willing to finance you. That's another question. And competitive creditors, so business creditors, but also private, also mortgage or rental, health costs, everything. It's about 18 creditors average. So that's a lot. And how many years are you liable in Holland for your debt? How many years? 3, 5, 10, who bids more? 20 years. Who did know that? Not many persons here. And do they tell you that when you go to the Chamber of Commerce? No, they cheer at you when you start. Here, oh, you're a starter. Well, oh, and you have to take that course and take care of your finance and think about marketing. And well, if you're lucky, then they say don't marriage in I don't know in English, in community. And don't do that because otherwise your partner is also liable for your debt. That's not very handy. But they don't tell you that if things go wrong and you end up with 120,000 debt, that you can be liable for 20 years. So that's a disaster here in Holland. We're so very modern, and I would love to be born in the United States, because over there, if you go bankrupt, you can start over the same day. Of course, it's a bit the other way. Also, you have to take into account the interests of all the creditors because they invested money and they have a right to be paid in full. But if there are circumstances that you cannot pay your creditors in full, then if you have 120,000 debt, then you're out of society because you have not the urge to work again. Because if you work again, then all your creditors, they go on your salary and say, you can have 90% of the social service, the limit, or it's only 1,000 euros you can have, and the rest is for us. So you have to, you don't have the urge to work. And a lot of people go on welfare and they work besides that. And that's not good for our economics, or our economy. So it's very good if we change the law in Holland. We have to do that. It's terrible, because at the start they cheer at you, and you can focus on growing your business, but ending your business, it's shh, don't talk about it. You go sit in the corner and be ashamed because you shouldn't have made that investment. You shouldn't have done that. And that's typical Dutch. Typical Dutch. Hey, you can't be way on the top because that's something, you don't do that. But if you go, if you fail, then we all say, you shouldn't have bought that, you should have done that, you should have listened to me. But there are 800,000 independent professionals who dared to be an entrepreneur, who are the cork on which our economy thrives, whatever. whatever. Okay, some course of English would be nice, but long time ago. But it's strange. So I really want to have this adapted. I want to have a different view of mind of all the people. I want us to be proud on every entrepreneur who tries to foresee in its own income. That's something we should be proud of. Thank you. And if so, we should change, of course, that law. And so I've really discussed that with the government, but they say, well, no, and the Chamber of Commerce, no, Mrs. Jacqueline, we are only here for the successful entrepreneurs and not for the failures. And I say, well, dream on, my time will come. So I'm now trying to make a new point where all the entrepreneurs who are in financial difficulties, they can go over there, and there every kind of support is there. Also, all the financial possibilities, and also the support, also the moral support. And well, I'm going to arrange that because I don't want to stand and see, well, okay, well, I see, well, 60 or 70% ends and 60% has financial problems, and I see I have to end. Okay. No. Okay, but therefore, Tom is my greatest hero, because at the end, entrepreneurship is a way of life. And he dares to fail, and me too. Thank you.